What does it cost to save your family by destroying everything they stand for? Michael Corleone answered that question over the course of 2 films and 1 lifetime. He started as a decorated war hero who wanted nothing to do with his father's criminal empire. He ended as a hollow king, sitting alone in an empty compound, everyone he ever loved either dead or driven away by his own hand. This is the story of the most complete character arc in cinema history. A Greek tragedy where every choice that seems right in the moment leads inexorably to damnation. Today we're tracing Michael Corleone's complete evolution across the Godfather saga. Not just what he did, but who he became with each decision. The psychological toll, the moral compromises, the moments where Michael could have turned back and chose not to. This is the anatomy of a man who saved his family by becoming the very thing his father never wanted him to be. Let's begin. December 1945, Connie Corleone's wedding, and Michael Corleone sits at a table in the garden with Kay Adams, explaining his family like he's narrating a nature documentary about a species he doesn't belong to. He's separate, different, clean. He's the Dartmouth graduate, the Marine Corps captain, the decorated war hero with a picture in the newspaper. While his family built an empire on violence and intimidation, Michael built a legitimate life on honor and service. And he believes this separation is permanent, that he can exist adjacent to the Corleone family business without being contaminated by it. That somehow the same bloodline that made Sonny a killer and Fredo weak has left him untouched. But watch Michael's face during that wedding scene. When he tells Kay about Luca Brasi holding a gun to the band leader's head, there's something in his eyes. Not quite pride, not quite shame, something more complicated. He's explaining violence like it's business. He's translating brutality into strategy. And he's doing it with the clinical detachment of someone who understands this world far better than he wants to admit. This is Michael's original sin, not the murders he'll commit, but the belief that he can remain separate from his blood. That education and military service have somehow elevated him above the gravitational pull of family loyalty. Michael graduated from Dartmouth. He killed men in World War II, but he never learned the most important lesson. You can't stand next to fire and remain cold. You can't be a Corleone and stay clean. The wedding scene shows us Michael at his most innocent. Not naive, Michael is never naive, but innocent in the sense that he still believes he has a choice, that his future isn't already written in his father's ledger. Vito Corleone lies in a hospital bed, shot 5 times, barely alive. Sonny is raging, screaming for war, punching anything that moves. Fredo has proven himself useless. And Michael, who wanted nothing to do with the family business, steps forward with a plan. The scene in Louis' restaurant is the most important in Michael's evolution. This is where the war hero dies, and the dawn is born. Michael sits across from Sollozzo and McCluskey. Sollozzo is talking, negotiating, explaining how they can all make money together. And Michael says almost nothing. He's listening, calculating, waiting for the moment. Watch Al Pacino's performance here. Michael's face is completely still, but his eyes are active. He's not the college boy anymore. He's not the innocent son sitting in the garden explaining his family to Kay. He's a predator measuring the distance to his prey. Michael excuses himself to the bathroom. He retrieves the planted gun. He returns to the table, and then, without warning, without a word, Michael shoots Sollozzo in the forehead, then McCluskey in the throat, then McCluskey again in the forehead. The gun clatters to the floor. Michael walks out. Michael flees to Sicily, and for a brief moment, maybe the last truly innocent moment of his life, Michael is happy. He falls in love with Apollonia. He courts her properly with old-world respect and ceremony. He marries her. And in those sun-drenched Sicilian scenes, Michael smiles. He laughs. He's human. But even in Sicily, Michael is learning from Don Tomasino, learning about respect and power and the old ways, learning how to be what he's going to have to become. And then, Apollonia dies. A car bomb meant for Michael kills his innocent young wife, and Michael doesn't scream, doesn't weep openly. He just stops. The camera holds on Michael's face, and something inside him dies along with Apollonia. Not just love, not just hope, but the last vestige of the man who believed he could have a normal life. Michael returns to America already transformed. The war hero is gone. The monster isn't fully formed yet, but the foundation is laid. The moral compromises have begun, and there's no path back to innocence. The baptism sequence is Michael's thesis statement. The moment where he doesn't just commit murder, he orchestrates the simultaneous execution of 5 family heads while standing in a church, renouncing Satan, becoming his nephew's godfather. Watch how Michael operates after becoming Don. Every movement is calculated, every word is measured, every emotion is suppressed. When Carlo admits to setting up Sonny, Michael's face shows nothing. No rage, no grief, just cold confirmation of what he already knew. When Kay asks if Michael killed Carlo, Michael looks her in the eyes and lies with perfect calm. And for a moment, Kay chooses to believe him, because the alternative, that the man she married is capable of such coldness, is too terrible to accept. But the final scene of The Godfather Part 1 shows Kay what Michael has become. She watches through the doorway as men come to Michael, kiss his hand, call him Don Corleone, and Michael accepts their homage with the same emotionless efficiency he brings to everything now. Then, Al Neri closes the door, literally shutting Kay out of Michael's world. And Michael doesn't stop it, doesn't explain, doesn't apologize, because Michael has completed his transformation. This is where Michael's Greek tragedy becomes clear. He's saved the family, eliminated all their enemies, consolidated power, achieved everything his father built the empire to achieve. But look at what it cost: his innocence, his first wife, his relationship with Kay, his humanity. Michael won, but the victory is hollow. And Part 2 will show us just how hollow it truly is.
The Godfather Part 2 parallels Michael's rise to power with Vito's, and the contrast is devastating. We watch young Vito build his empire through community, through helping people, through being a protector and provider. People love Vito. They bring him their problems because they trust him. Michael? Michael rules through fear, through strategic elimination of threats, through cold calculation that values power over people. And then comes Fredo, the betrayal, the confrontation in Cuba. This is the only moment in the entire saga where Michael admits to having emotions. The only time he breaks his own silence to acknowledge that he's capable of pain. And then Michael orders his brother killed, waits until their mother dies so she won't have to grieve, then gives the silent nod to Tom Hagen that sentences Fredo to death. Michael sits at Lake Tahoe, looking out at the water, knowing his brother is being murdered on his orders, and his face shows nothing, or everything. Al Pacino plays it as absolute emptiness. This is Michael's final transformation. He's not just a Don now. He's not just ruthless. He's something beyond human. A machine that processes threats and eliminates them with perfect efficiency and zero emotion. The final shot of The Godfather Part 2 is one of the most devastating images in cinema. Michael sits alone in the Lake Tahoe compound. Everyone is gone. Kay has left. Fredo is dead. Connie is there but damaged. Tom serves but doesn't love. And the camera slowly closes in on Michael's face as the door shuts. And in that silence, in that isolation, we see the complete cost of Michael's journey. He started as a war hero who wanted to be a senator. He became a king who rules over nothing but emptiness. He saved the family by destroying the family. He He protected the business by losing everything the business was supposed to protect. Michael Corleone's evolution is complete. From innocent to killer, from outsider to don, from human to something colder than death itself. The complete evolution of Michael Corleone, a Greek tragedy where every right choice leads to damnation. Every victory costs more than it's worth. Every step up the ladder of power is a step away from humanity. Michael believed he could save his family without becoming a monster. He was wrong. The moment he volunteered to kill Sollozzo, his fate was sealed. The transformation was inevitable. The isolation was guaranteed. This is why The Godfather endures, not because it glorifies crime, but because it shows us the true cost of power. Michael gets everything he fought for and loses everything that matters. At what moment did Michael cross the point of no return? The restaurant? Apollonia's death? The baptism? Or was he always destined for this? Subscribe for video essays that treat cinema as the art form it is. For more Godfather analysis, watch the video on screen now. I'll see you in the next one.